My name is Dominik Tarolli. I was a co-founder of a company called Procedural, which were the maker of City Engine. We got acquired by Esri in 2011, and I now have the privilege to head the Smart Cities group. And since we're right before lunch, I just want to go quickly through 3 steps. Number 1, I want to convince you why we're in the age of smart cities. Then I would like to be very precise about what we think is the definition of a real smart city, and then give you a glimpse of the future with the future of smart cities. So, like I said, I'm Swiss, so you're in good hands. We will be right in time for lunch, so I make that promise. Then my hometown is called St. Gallen. I live right now here in California, Redlands, but I originally come from St. Gallen, right in the heart of Europe. And St. Gallen has a population of 75,000 people, which makes it already the 8th largest city in Switzerland. Can you believe that? But, and don't get me wrong, I love St. Gallen. It's a beautiful little city, but it's not exactly what you would think is a role model for innovation or progress. So you can see on your left, it's 1912, on your right, 2012. Do you see a lot of changes? Not really, right? So, and you think if I just picked like a convenient spot for me, not at all. Once again, close to the city center on the left side, 1912, on the right side, 2012. And since all good things come in 3, one last comparison, this time 1917 to 2017, and the only changes that we could see is basically here a new building with a nice Swiss flag there in the background. And also what you see a lot more signs there. So I think we get more and more regulated as well. But then, when I went back last Christmas to visiting family in my hometown, I saw this. This is the main railway station in the center of St. Gallen. And anybody knows what those circles, X's and squares are? No? Almost, we are getting closer. No, it's a binary large-scale electronic clock. Anybody knows how that is working? So if we have basically here on the left side, on the top, these are the hours. In the middle you have the minutes, and then on the top you have seconds. So if we make quickly the calculation, so we would have on the top line, it's like 16 plus 4 makes 40, which is 8 p.m. in the AM/PM system. Then in the middle, we have minutes. If we calculate here, 32, 16, 8, and 1, that's 57. And then on the bottom, we have 32, 4, and 1. So that would make, this time would be 8 p.m., 57 minutes, and 37 seconds. So I was really impressed about my hometown. You can imagine, like, really at the end of Switzerland, small, rural, everything, and they have an electronic binary watch like this. But just steps away, I was even more impressed. Steps away, I found this one. It's an interactive city map. It's a touch screen where you basically can route through the city. You can find points of interest. You find restaurants, shopping areas, and so on. So you can even calculate walking time, and everything interactively and digital. But the city had one last surprise for me. So in Switzerland, it's pretty common that you use public transportation. It's the best way to get around in a city. And when I approached the bus station, I saw this digital board. And that digital board gave me the indication if my bus was on time, when is it coming, how long would be the waiting time, what other connections are there. And I don't think I have to mention that I could buy the ticket via an app completely electronically. So without wasting any paper or anything else, I just could go into it. I knew when my next bus is coming. I knew if it would be delayed, I would take another connection. It takes completely the stress out of public transportation. So to be honest, I was very, very impressed about my hometowns, how they move towards a smart city. And they are following a pattern that we see more and more on a global basis. So I think we agree that today we have outdated business workflows and also outdated business system. And we are now in a phase where we modernize all that old IT infrastructure. And this is basically this first step. But then what makes the city truly smart, however, is where and how technology is applied. Therefore, we have a step number 2, those applications, like you saw, that digital board, that we can see waiting time for buses. And then the third point is the adoption, the public usage that lead to better decision behavior change. And the logic behind this, the more people we get involved, the more knowledge we have involved, and the better informed decision we can make. But most importantly, it's to mention it's not about technology. It's about using technology and data purposefully to make better decisions and deliver a better quality of life. And I couldn't come up with such a sentence. And that was basically the main kind of finding in the latest McKinsey Global Institute research about smart cities in 2018. So what are also some of the principles that make a city real smart? And based on our daily work, we found 7 of those. Number 1, the city has to run on a platform, and here it's important, it's not only a digital platform, but it's also the physical layers that we have to integrate it. And the digital layer, like I think Keith explained perfectly, was like we have to plug in apps over and over again. And I love that comparison with Lego, since I have little children and I'm used to those Lego blocks all the time. But it's such a perfect comparison that I can add and distract basically those blocks. Citizen-centric, this really means participation of all commercial, NGOs, then also people, young and old. Are old people used with the new technology? Are young people used to the old kind of processes? So to be really citizen-centric. Operated on evidence-based information, which is A, reliable, B, result-focused with ongoing research, and C, it's able to calculate the impact of public policy. Proactive, so can we act before crises happen? And then open, transparent, individual-centric privacy. So it's not only to collect data, right? And I think today everybody's super sensitive about privacy, open and sharing. But if we are not just collecting, also sharing, and basically have a hub in place where people can get the data in an easy way and then also further process it, I think that's the idea. And then inclusive and empathetic, so also being very empathetic with all social groups and social movement. And why is this so important? Because times are changing, right? So if we look at the innovation, so it took the telephone about 100 years to reach a 90% adoption rate. And what you can see, this was not a linear adoption. And the adoption rate of innovation follows a certain kind of pattern, widely known, and you can see it there as the S-curve. We see the same curve or adoption rate also for personal computers, but it took the personal computer just about 50 years. And the World Wide Web was even faster, and it became mainstream in just 20 years. And in an even more recent example, Facebook reached 1 billion users in only 8 years. So I guess we see here a very interesting trend. So the curves are getting steeper and steeper, meaning it takes less time for new technologies to become mainstream. And one of the best examples how tech has really changed our experiences is this one slide from Mark Zuckerberg, how we send greetings from vacation, right? I remember the time with my Motorola or Nokia phone where I said, wow, Italy is so beautiful. Then with the rise of smartphones and digital cameras, we started to send it those digital pictures. Then with more broadband, the videos came. And these days, as you can see on your right, it's really those virtual reality and augmented reality experiences. And with those contexts, I want to go over and elaborate on our 4 pillars of real smart cities. And why does it matter to have a structure or a classification for real smart cities? And I bet you're tired of the term smart, right? Yes, I see a lot of nodding. And the idea is really smart was used as the answer for everything. And we think, or what we see really in the marketplace, smart cities often overhyped and almost always misunderstood. And you can make an easy test. So take out your smartphone, go on your favorite browser and just type in smart cities and make a search. And what you will see is usually something like this. This is an original screenshot. You see somewhere a city behind it and a lot of bubbles above and behind it, and everybody tries to put in like one more bubble on top of it to make a city smart. And this is not how we see it. Therefore, we want to come up with a clear and precise vision about real smart cities. And for us, smart cities and smart communities embrace an integrated approach. We think they should support planning and engineering to change and adapt to change. I think we should improve our operational efficiency with good government services. We should capitalize on data-driven performance through data and analytics, and we should achieve civic inclusion by connecting with the community. And just quickly allow me to browse through those four pillars. It's really number one, planning and engineering. We must basically balance the need of the people, the infrastructure, and the environment. And we see like the most progressive and the smartest cities in the world, they're embracing a human-centered design with 3D planning for real-world context. And what they're doing, they're building basically models. They benchmark those models. They analyze those models and then pick the best scenarios that will suit their goals. Good example is like for you on the right side, Boston, but also Singapore, Honolulu, Zurich, or here on the right, Sacramento are some good examples. Operational efficiency. I think smart cities are those who delivered really the excellent service to their constituents. And what we really see is balancing those resources. Basically, where can we place resources into the right location that we have the most benefit. And we really see in our work, as also described from Keith before, that those dashboards or visualization, they really make a huge difference. And I will actually highlight just in a minute the facilities management examples about ArcGIS Indoors. Third pillar, data-driven performance. It's about going from static to real times. It's about improving urban mobility through intelligent infrastructure. So when I see what's going on in my city, can I change stuff or basically lead people to another direction or improve just responsiveness? Some good examples, Portland, snow operation, opioid abuse monitoring, or also crime analysis. Last one, civic inclusion. This is really becoming more and more important. That's what we're seeing and getting asked on a daily basis. How can we engage the community and collaborate with it? And this is not only a one way, so we can also highlight our work to serve it out and show what's going on. Good examples, I think previously there was a presentation about Cobb County. We have some community initiatives, so they're building basically a hub where everybody can get their data, visit it, and then also further process it, or like you see there, or with homelessness. Now, let's walk the talk, and before we go to lunch, let's have a glimpse to the future of real smart cities. And once again, and that's really important for us, it's not about adopting technology. It's really about transforming your work. And why is this so important? So if we're just adopting technology, it's like taking 30 linear steps. And 30 linear steps is already like a good move, right? We're going in the right direction, 30 linear steps. But if we transform work, then it feels more like 30 exponential steps. And 30 exponential steps can really take you 25 times around the globe. And I want to show you some examples I think you have seen ArcGIS Indoors already with the LA County, but what's really here, the thing is like 2/3 of all our facilities are still managed by email, CAD drawings, pen and paper, and Excel list. It's really, really scary. What we do with ArcGIS Indoors is really operationalize all that data, which means we bring it on a common platform called ArcGIS Indoors. And once you have that, you can watch that data in 2D, in 3D. You have this common operating picture where you can see, oh, where are my assets? Are those assets okay? Do we have to replace them? What should we do? We can then locate ourselves and basically make a route that somebody who should replace, for example, the fire extinguisher, that they exactly know where it is. We also can file those 311 forms in a very easy way on your mobile. And the thing here is it will automatically detect where you are. You can make a picture and send it away. And this makes really a difference. I just had lately somebody of my team coming in on a Saturday, and before he could enter the office, there was like a flooded area, and it was like, who should I call in our organization on a Saturday morning to help me solve that mess? I don't know if you had that information or telephone number, who could you solve it? With ArcGIS Indoors, no problem at all. You open the app, it will locate where you are, you can describe it, you make a picture, and it will route directly, whether it's a weekday or on the weekend, the information to the right people. So like I said, it's not about 30 linear steps, it's really transforming your work. Another example we will release in Q2 2019, also in my Smart Cities group, is called ArcGIS Urban, and this is really smart city planning. And what we've seen in the marketplace is really that the 4 key stakeholders in planning, which is the city, real estate, AC people, so all the architects and designers and the publics, they don't have a common platform where they can work with, together and have all the information that they're needing. With ArcGIS Urban, we're providing a platform, creating a 3D base map, adding information, and that was also what Keith mentioned. That's the beauty of ArcGIS. You can add layers and information on top. And if you have some goals, so if you want to create more jobs in your city or you want to create more housing, that's ArcGIS Urban provides you that capability where you can make new developments. Do you need a policy change? Do you have to rezone some area to really get those jobs? And here what we see is basically that work in the background where people can make different scenarios, they try to rezone, and then they will see in real time how many jobs can be created. What does it need to get there? And once we have that work done in the background, we will serve it out to the other stakeholder, to the public. Do you really want to have 3,000 more jobs? Oh, by the way, these are the consequences. We have to rezone this and this area. Or once we have agreement on that, we can serve it out to the AC people and say, like, okay, we have now a competition. Who would like to build new developments in this area? And then also communicate with real estate who have to finance and build it at the end of the day. Who would like to see a digital twin? Okay, no, then we are not doing it. So what we have here is a digital twin about Toronto, and I can give you the link. It's basically show you where the trolleybus are moving. It shows you in real time cameras, and you can also see the traffic or what's going on. But I would love to show you one last thing before we go to lunch, which is this one. This is a workflow from City Engine and Esri software to Unreal, which is a VR and gaming platform, the maker of Fortnite. And what we do with one click, transforming GIS data into such an engine. And what we have then here is a tabletop. And you see it's not only one person, we have 2 people in the same scene in there. They're looking from a tabletop view on this new development, and once we said like, okay, let's experience it like we would be in that scene, we jump just right in. We can now add different scenarios, so you have here different design scenarios, but you can not only see it at one time of the day, you can really see it on different hours of the day, and then you see what impact sun or shadows will have. And I think it gives really people who have never dealt with zoning or design or development, it gives them really the chance to understand what's going on and really also add that more communication and participation in the game. And with that, based on everything I know and we've seen in the whole area, GIS gives you really the advantage that you have on the one side that foundation as a platform where you can plug in like new Lego bricks, like new capabilities, but then that's not the only thing, right? I mean, there has to be a strategy, it has to be a system, there has to be process around it. And what we see in our daily work is that GIS really gives you that flexibility to adapt whatever strategy, system, or process you have in place. And with that, as a Swiss, I'm in time.